too soon. But at some point in time, they're going to go, the hell with it. It's time to put him in there because the kid has been that good for them so far.
Well, so let's set this up the proper way. Lewis, because we mentioned your Twitter feed, and this one from the other day got a lot of attention when you tweeted, not going to say how crazy good some of the things I've been told about Justin Fields, the professional, have been thus far. Don't want to hear the It's Only Training Camp Brigade puff up their chest and scream at the top of their lungs, but it has been that good, just saying. Lewis, we have talked a great deal about that tweet here on this program, and I continue to remind everyone, you said similar things about Patrick Mahomes in his first training camp once upon a time, and that's gone well. So I would love you to expand on what it is that you are hearing that led you to tweet that.
Yeah, I think, well, first and foremost, look, we all know that there was a lot of BS circling around Justin Fields heading into the draft, okay, as far as whatever his level of football intelligence was, whatever his level of commitment was to the game, was he going to be the guy who's going to go the extra mile to be great or not? But there was a lot of that going on, a lot of it. And I'm going to just tell you this. I'm pretty well connected in Chicago. From day one that he has gotten there, they could not be happier and more ecstatic about his level of commitment, his attention to detail, his football IQ, his willingness and desire, and how intentional he has been to eliminate all distractions, his leadership, his poise, his swagger, his respect towards Andy Dalton as far as saying, hey, look, I know why I'm here, but at the same time, I know you've been a good pro. So he has been a guy who has kind of fallen in line, performed when he's needed to perform, but also shown Andy the level of respect that he believes that Andy deserves. When he gets out on the football field, his continuous progression as far as being able to get these long, lengthy play calls communicated in the huddle, his ability to know what not only he's doing, but what everyone else is doing, and that improvement that he's making every single day has them, I can just tell you this, it has them freaking ecstatic. It's just a matter of now, when, as I said before, when do they kind of like pull that show cover off of him and say, hey, look, it's time for you to go? Because Matt wants to play it safe with him because he wants him to be great. And I get that. I'm just saying I think it's going to be I think they're just going to have to at some point in time just go, man, just put him in there. Enough of this waiting. Put him in there. Because he is blowing their minds as far as how happy they have been with everything that he's doing.
Now, Sacho, you cover the college game for us as well, so you know what Lewis is talking about. For those who don't, I'll remind everyone the words processing leading up to the draft is one that you never hear. All of a sudden this year, can he process? And that was said about Justin Fields so much, and I believe that, Lewis, is what you're referring to as far as the BS that was out there about him before the draft. That said, Sacho, your thoughts on Fields before the draft and what you're hearing now?
Yeah, my thoughts on Fields before the draft is that he was the best quarterback, or put him behind Trevor Lawrence, but one of the best quarterbacks in the draft. And so all the talk about him slipping, you can hear what Ryan Day said beforehand, the head coach of Ohio State. All that was BS. This guy's phenomenal. And so I actually predicted that the Bears would trade up for him. I said they trade up for 12. They went to 11 to get him. So I think this is a great move and a great fit for the Chicago Bears. I was in Chicago in 2018, so with Matt Nagy and with Ryan Pace, I know they needed to make a move, but I believe they're going to be patient. You know, you got a bye week in week 10. You want to start Andy Dalton, reevaluate that, and maybe after week 10, you can make that change. I think they want a longer run for him to have success rather than trying to put him in right now.
That's a lot of patience. Shefty, what are you hearing coming out of Chicago?
Listen, they love what they are seeing. You heard Lou. Lou knows very well. The issue is how long they can hold off on putting him in there when they have been open about Andy Dalton being QB1. That's what they tweeted out after they signed him. That's what they reaffirmed after they drafted Justin Fields. That's the man they've stood by. And so as much as they love Justin Fields, as much as they've been impressed by everything they've seen from Justin Fields, I think that is exactly right what Lou's saying. When do you resist the urge to go play a guy who is impressive in camp when you want to lean on the veteran who they also trust right now? And I think that you're seeing something similar in San Francisco unfold with Jimmy Garoppolo, who's had a strong camp, and Trey Lance, who's lit it up the last few days in practice. And you see the young quarterback, and you see the talents, and you see it on display. And it's just a question of when is the right time to unveil it.
And we'll see how the record that they put together early in the season winds up playing into this. All right, we'll table that for the moment. There's another quarterback situation, and we touched on Jameis Winston a few moments ago, again, with this drill that he didn't seem to do so successfully, but that's not what he does. This man flings the rock He and Taysom Hill right now are competing for the starting job after the retirement of Drew Brees. And this week, Winston was talking about what he learned from Brees and used a fascinating analogy. Listen.
Just being able to execute and do my job, and that's something that I learned from Drew. Be Bruce Wayne until you have to be Batman. You don't have to be Batman all the time. So it can be throwing the ball away. It can be taking a sack, right? And the result is not necessarily what everyone wants, but it gives us a chance to live another play.
All right, I'm in for any Batman comparisons, first of all. Second of all, Sacho, you played with Jameis Winston. You know him pretty well. So when you hear him say that, what does it make you think?
Yeah, I get excited when I hear this, right? I played with Jameis Winston in Tampa Bay in 2019. He invited me over to his house for Thanksgiving. I got a chance to see this guy compete, and he is a competitor. I remember being on the basketball court, and he's over here trying to shoot threes, game-winning threes. Like, he loves competing. He loves making these phenomenal throws, but he's trying to be Superman. He's trying to do something otherworldly. Don't be a superhero. Just be you. Like, my advice to Jameis is just be you. And that's what I told him on Thanksgiving. That's what I'll tell him now. Be you. Jameis Winston being himself is a great quarterback. But Jameis Winston trying to force throws and be a superhero, down by 21, lead my team. We don't need that, Jay. We need you to take the check down, take the sack. You don't have to be a hero every single play. And then you're going to get the wins. And all of a sudden, that superhero that you're trying to become, people will start telling you you're that guy. You don't have to try and force yourself to be that guy.
Yeah. I don't want to quibble over the superheroes here, but Batman is to Bruce Wayne as Superman is to Clark Kent. So we could go in either of those directions that we want to.
Hold on now, Greeny. Hold on now. Superman is he's from Krypton. He's from a different planet. Like, right. Batman is actually a human being. Like, Batman, he got like a little utility belt, puts a cape on. Superman, like, he's not from the world.
You're not trying to tell me you don't think Batman is a superhero, though, do you?
He's a superhero-ish. He's a dude. He puts a mask on and a cape. Come on, dude.
No, he's the best of the superheroes. He was on Super Friends. He wasn't on Friends, right? He's not Ross. Anyway, let me come to you, Lewis, on this topic. Because, I mean, going back to the Jameis of it all here, if we may, because I like what I'm hearing. And I have been a Jameis Winston believer and supporter for a long time. And we've talked about how, he went and got his master's degree from Sean Payton and Drew Brees last year, and that's what he thinks he took from it. What do you think?
Yeah, all things are sounding good and like they're heading in the right direction for Jameis and for the Saints. And I think for Jameis, the number one thing, I think if I were to really try to wrap all of this up, I think the number one thing that he's realizing and people have been trying to stress to him in New Orleans in particular is this: don't be the primary reason that we lose games. Just don't be that reason, and everything else will take care of itself, because you have enough ability to help us win games. We know that. And we know that you can push the ball down the field, maybe in ways that for the past 19 years, the past 15 years, we haven't been able to do, because that's really not the strength of Drew's game. And I know Sean Payton wants to be a bigger play offense. We talked to him last year for Monday Night Football. He has those plays in his arsenal. It just didn't always work out that way for one reason or another. And we know Jameis is very efficient pushing the ball down the field as far as his touchdown to interception ratio. Look, Hembo sent me a stat which is fantastic on Jameis over about the fact that a lot of his interceptions, a lot of his carelessness with the football are on the short to intermediate throws. His deep ball accuracy in terms of just when you're looking at touchdown to interception ratio is winning football. So I think he has that in him. He will show some of that. Just don't be the reason why we're winning, and all of a sudden you turn the football over